Hey there, Mr. Know-It-All, the lead swing trading analyst trader at Swing Trade Pros, the #1 swing trading and bot community in the world. And I genuinely want to help you make your mark in the thrilling world of swing trading cryptocurrency. I've been trading since 2017 and I've taught myself many different trading strategies, patterns. I'm known for the falling wedge pattern, as you guys might know. I've dedicated my life to mastering these types of structures and patterns, and now my goal is to impact the lives of 1 million of you. You heard that right. My goal is to impact 1 million people this full cycle. Let that be you. Cryptocurrency markets can be a roller coaster ride, full of ups and downs. But through swing trading, I've discovered a strategy that can truly make a difference. I've poured countless hours to studying the intricacies of wedge patterns, rising wedge patterns, you name it, and it has become my area of expertise. Here's the thing. I genuinely want to see you thrive in this market. That's why I've made it my mission to impact 1 million of you. I want to provide you with the tools, insight, and support you need to navigate this exciting but challenging landscape. Swing trading is not just about technical analysis, it's about understanding market psychology and developing disciplined risk management strategies. I'll be there to guide you step by step as we identify different types of patterns and structures and seize profitable opportunities. Together, we'll build your confidence in trading skills, ensuring you're well prepared to face the twists and turns of swing trading. Believe me when I say that I genuinely care about your success. That's why I'm inviting you to join me, Mr. Know-It-All, on this transformative journey. Let's make the most of this full cycle and work towards your financial freedom together. You'll find all my links in my bio. Reach out and let's dive into this world of swing trading. I'm here to support you and your family and guide you every step of the way because your success matters to me. Together, let's make a real impact and achieve trading success.
All right, welcome back, traders. We had an interesting week here with price action. And we're starting a little bit early here tonight. I want to just see how the action closes here on the week. We close here at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and the weekly candle is going to close here. We did get this back test from this massive rising wedge that we did break down from, and we did get this back test here. I really am keen to see how this candle closes on the week. As you guys can see, there is a bit of a long wicked rejection up here, so that's good. We are seeing a bit of a bounce in the market as a result of that, and I'm here to talk about what could happen here over the next coming weeks with the price action. So as explained before, Bitcoin is at a pretty critical spot here on the weekly time frame. It does look like to me that, you know, we did get about a 20% drawdown here off this ETF news that we were proclaiming to know about. We knew that this was going to be probably a sell the news event, as most news events are. Everyone was waiting for this news event, and you guys can see we pretty much got pretty close to that 78.6% retracement level, and we bounced right off the golden mean ratio, the 618. So is this going to be a lower high type of movement? Going to kind of address that here today. All right. And I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I know it's Sunday evening and everyone's, spending time with their families, as everyone should be. But, traditional technical analysis, 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Swing Trade Pros channel here with myself, Mr. Know-It-All. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. And let me get some tunes on here. Obviously, we are starting here a bit early tonight. Like I said, I wanted to see how this price action closed for the week, as it is kind of critical to see what ends up happening here going into this close. It's really weird that I can't hear any of the sounds that StreamYard is playing right now. I know that it's But I know that on YouTube it is live, so that's really interesting, and you guys can probably hear the music, but I can't, so that's really weird. Anyways, yeah, just let me know if you guys want me to change the song or something, because I actually can't hear it. Anyways, all right, let's go back to the Bitcoin chart here, and actually let's just take a look at how the you don't hear any music at all? Hang on. Let's see why you guys can't hear anything. Oh, this is probably why I can't hear anything, because it's on. How about now? Can you guys hear it now? Okay, cool. All right, sweet. So, all right. All right, so the Tether candle is going to close here. I'm looking at Tether because this is indicative of the whole market and what might transpire here in the next coming days, weeks here for the market. We are seeing, Tether putting a pin bar here on the daily. I came back down to test the range that it broke out from. So some could say, hey, we just back tested the rising wedge and we pulled back and we're making a higher low. We are making a higher low on Tether here, and this thing could try to grind up further. It's very possible that it could do that. We came overbought and sold off here. We're back. We're still sitting here in bullish territory here on the daily, and on the weekly chart. Well, we're still in the bearish control zone, and I think, we got passed above this level here on the RSI. We could potentially test up to that 40 level on the weekly chart, all right? And I want to see how this plays out. We are impending on a weekly MACD cross here for Tether. So we haven't crossed yet, all right? And if we do get some more rejection around these levels, it could kind of negate that cross, right? Like we could attempt to cross and then boom, we just get a big level of negative momentum to come in to negate that weekly cross. Which is kind of what we're looking to see. All right. Now we're like teetering between this area right now. And as long as Bitcoin's above 40.6K, it's really difficult to be a bear on Bitcoin. It's just been making higher highs. And yes, we did break this structure here, this trend that we were, beautifully holding in this uptrend here after this range break. Okay. It is very, very possible that we do come up to back test this trend line right here, which is right around that 45K region. right? It does look like we might end up doing that. And the reason why I say that is because we're also impending a daily cross back up here on Bitcoin. Right. And if we go to the 2-day, we got like what? Triple MACD hidden bullish divergence here, right? We got one, or I would say one. We got about, I guess, like double. We got double hidden bullish divergence here on the MACD oscillator for Bitcoin. And as long as this low on the negative momentum is higher than this low on price, then that is a confirmed hidden bullish divergence on the asset. Okay. And I am looking at a retest of this trend line here. And if we do end up breaking above this trend line and back testing it then as support, we could really see this asset move back to the upside. All right. So we got a lot of things going on here. I know it sounds maybe a little bit confusing, but this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this trend line was broken and it will probably be back tested. And based on what it does when it interacts with this trend line, and how we, see this price action, right, will really depict on where the price of Bitcoin goes and where the markets will go. But if we zoom out to the monthly time frame here, guys, I don't really see any real danger of. This candle is not such a good candle. I will say that is not necessarily a good candle. That could be indicative of a reversal. Okay, on the monthly time frame. And yes, it could mean that if we do fail to backtest this region and we fail to close this candle, I would say above 44 to 45K on the monthly chart, we could be looking at some further downside to maybe backtest or retest this major trend line that it's been respecting as support. So yeah, one touch, two touch, we could get a third touch, and that would be around 35K. All right. Now there's some folks that are drawing like rising wedges here and stuff. I'm not really seeing a rising wedge being formed here. It does just look like overbought conditions. We nailed a fib extension or pretty close to it, and we're pulling back at this level as we would have done in every other cycle of Bitcoin. Like the previous cycle, we did a 786 fib extension retracement, and then we got the pullback, major pullback. All right, so we could be doing something similar. We could see, this wicked all the way down to the 236 fib extension on a Swan event. I don't foresee a Swan event happening, but you never know. The 38.2% retracement level is around 28K. I don't know that we're going to get down there, but hey man, anything's possible in this market. If we really do print this monthly, I would call this a dragonfly reversal monthly candle. It's not as powerful as something that we did here, where we did actually print on the weekly this doji right here. All right, but we did print something similar here, just we didn't engulf this range. All right, and last week's candle, we did actually print a bullish engulfing. Actually, I would say this week we just closed the week, so technically a weekly bullish engulfing candle back test off the golden mean ratio here. Yeah, we'll get to Urus in a second, Rash. All right, so the key driver here is what Tether is going to end up doing, and like I said before, this trend line that was broken will most likely be retested or back tested, and if we fail to break back above it, it'll just be a lower high, and then we can proceed back to the downside after that. So we'll see how high she goes. But daily RSI bouncing off 70, or I should say the weekly bouncing off this 70 region. That's I would say extremely bullish on the weekly time frame, but yes, overbought still, right? Daily chart got a full reset down to 31. Got back up to bullish territory and rejected it on the daily today. So we could see a bit of drawdown while it kind of establishes a support level that it wants to respect. That's the analysis here on Bitcoin, guys. So just be prepared for a potential lower high coming in around this 45K region. Looks like this looks like a pretty strong area for it to maybe go and retest. And if we throw on our daily, that area is confluent with the Kelvin line on the daily. So if we end up closing back above this region, we can talk about higher prices for Bitcoin. But until then, we need some daily closures above there. We bounced off the golden pocket. This is the golden mean ratio right here, around 38.5, 39K. From the swing high to the swing low in this current cycle. All right. This is on log scale, by the way, not on a linear time scale. This is on log scale. All right. So Tether closing a longed wicked candle here. Obviously, technically still engulfing the previous week's candles and opening above the range here. And putting in like a doji candle right here, obviously back testing that support area. So we're above this level right now. We're going to see how this plays out. If we get continuation here on Tether, you know what that spells for Bitcoin. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll take a look at Urus for Arashi here. So based on the data that I have, just sitting on a daily support right here after it broke this wedge. Yeah, just chilling down here, man. There's not really much to talk about with it. Your 2-day stochastics are down here in the zone where you would potentially want to be buying it. No confirmation of that. You need to close above 20 to really confirm a 2-day buy signal. But you can see you're starting to tick up here. We got across, I think, today on it, but you got to see some continuation on this asset to close above the 20 line on the 2-day time scale. And your RSI sitting neutral, weekly charts sitting neutral on the RSI, rejecting the weekly bullish control zone. Yeah, it looks like maybe some consolidation or sideways price action in the works here. Losing a bit of that positive momentum here. Yeah, we can check XEM, sure. Yeah, so bottom of your range here around 775 to about that 825 region. You're above that, so that's good. Don't want to break that, man. Okay. XEM. Oof. That's not looking too good. Is this all the data on this coin? I feel like this is an OG coin, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what kind of data we have on this one, but Poloniex has the data. Okay, yeah, this looks about right. I don't know if this is accurate though. Poloniex still an active exchange. I guess so. That price seems right. All right, so we'll use the Poloniex chart. Jesus, look at this Amwick. Wow. Binance futures. It's not going to have the data though, man, but okay. Yeah, this doesn't have the data, man. We need to look at the Poloniex chart for a real accurate representation of coin. So this is the data on XEM. Yeah, I mean, you're sitting down here at a range low that you put in during the COVID crash, or pretty close to it. You're starting to make these higher lows on the weekly charts. Rejecting this range here around this 3.7 to 4 cent region. Holding a demand line here though, so you could get maybe a third test to 3.3 and see what happens here. This could be an area where it could maybe reverse its price action depending on what the market's doing, right? And your weekly momentum starting to pick up some steam, right? You got a MACD cross starting to build some positive momentum on the weekly time scale. Your weekly RSI is bullish, 63. You're looking for a break of this previous RSI level around 63.82. That looks kind of promising on the weekly time scale. Your monthly chart is pretty wrecked down here at 41. Definitely in a monthly squeeze on this asset. So yeah, this could be setting up for higher prices if you can get the price action to make higher lows and higher highs, right? So far, it's been respecting this trend line pretty good. I would suspect it's going to do some of the same thing. All right, so that's XEM. Let's take a look at Ethereum here. The major altcoin in this market. I'm gonna redraw this. Yeah, I don't know if that's really accurate. Let's just go with some trend lines here. And I'm drawing from the previous cycle because I guess I could draw it from that swing low, but yeah, ETH is it's outside the trend line on the weekly time scale. On the monthly time scale, it's technically outside it right now. Okay, you guys can clearly see that it's outside the major trend line for the uptrend. And yeah, I mean, we could just I guess that makes sense why we're seeing a bit of rejection right here. This back test of this major trend line on ETH. Is ETH my favorite? No. I actually don't even own any ETH this cycle. But yeah, I'd like to see ETH break back above this structure. That would be really good to see. And yeah, I mean, the monthly momentum oscillator is still looking pretty good. Got that cross up. You're still building that positive momentum on the monthly chart. We broke this squeeze on the monthly. We hit the top of the band, which could mean some pullback, some sideways. like I said before, I'd like to see this break back above into the structure. As right now, we are outside of that. Okay. But we're holding the lows. We're certainly holding these lows at 2150. But you know, making lower highs here, right? We made this high, lower high, another lower high. So yeah, something interesting to look at here on ETH is this major pattern, this major structure. But this monthly looks pretty strong. Like it's probably going to get back into the structure. The 2 month here you could see has lots of room to go up. You know, MACD is still sitting in the bullish control zone here. You know, we're losing this negative momentum. This could take some time to play out, but eventually has Sol replaced ETH as a dominant alt, not in terms of market cap, but in terms of price action, I would say yes. Well, let's take a look at Sol. Solana, man, that descending broadening formation was real, that I had drawn there, but you guys can see that you know, just holding a major channel structure here on Sol on the monthly time frame. Obviously looking a lot stronger than ETH and a lot of other altcoins, rather, I should say. And yeah, you know, you could be seeing Sol, man, back up somewhere at the top of this channel at the end of this cycle. You know, we're getting this pause here right at the 786 fib extension, but this monthly candle doesn't look terrible, man. Just looks like a pullback candle. The weekly putting in a pin, you know, last week here, holding the range lows. It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong for sure. You actually broke this flag here that it was in, right? Now it looks like maybe a back test of the break, right? You broke out back test. You might consolidate for a bit before building up energy for the next move up. But I would say that this is technically a breakout here on Solana, all right? And this could really eventually break higher. Right? I mean, this is like one massive big bull flag here on Solana here, right? You guys see that? It's pretty strong altcoin there. But yeah, you know, it could just go up and make a lower high, you know, with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does make a lower high, we could see something like this where it comes up here and tops up here for now, and then we get, you know, a big correction back down to like $50. Or even lower, right? But I'm going to go ahead and say $50 is probably the range where it gets some support because, like, let's take a look at this level here. I'm giving, like, absolutes here, and, you know, this may not happen, but you always want to be prepared for something like this. If you are in this market and you are owning this asset, you want to know where these things could go. If we do see major pullbacks in the market or a swan type of an event. Where's the box tool? Did they change this, man? There used to be a rectangle tool somewhere. Maybe it's... Anyways, I'm looking at, look here, you see, like you have this, you have a support here. These bottom wicks here, you have that's exactly where you bounced off of right there. Okay. And then you have, you know, this little area right here. That was a little bit of a range before it really went up a lot in the last cycle. And then I would say you have this whole range here that you broke out of. That, man, that's a big range, and that is definitely going to be areas of support for this asset now that you're above them. Okay. But yeah, this thing went on quite a run here. So, you know, we could just, you know, fall back into the structure under brush and shapes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So I would say you have this range right here, right? This huge box. It's a big range. But, you know, if you're really going to be, you know, putting in a lower high here and confirming this top or something, you know, with the rest of the market, you know, pulling back, could do something like that, and that wouldn't be out of the ordinary to see after a major run like this. And you know, you broke this this major trend line here that you were respecting in this uptrend, and you know, here you broke it, and you could maybe make one more test of it up here. That's why I'm saying potentially a double top on it before coming back down. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because if Tether decides that it's going to continue up or sideways for a bit, or even, you know, maybe we do get one more drawdown on Tether because we didn't break back into the structure yet, but you can see that it broke up, got rejected at this resistance, and it's making a higher low here. So, you know, we could see some pushes up if Tether doesn't continue higher at first here, or, you know, ends up making a higher low somewhere to reverse its price action. You know, we could just do one of these where it comes up and then makes a lower high and then comes down one more time and then really makes divergence. And that could be our double top stuff that we end up making in the market to confirm these tops. Because look at the daily. The daily on Solana just crossed up, right? And yeah, you do have this daily bullish divergence that's going to play out. So yeah, I am expecting to see some sort of upside movement on this if this price action holds, and this bull flag or this down sloping trend line break is real. A bull flag break would mean that this is going to get above $127. I don't know that that's going to happen right away. We could see some more consolidation first or pullback first, right? I mean, we do have like a major demand line here that could be, you know, acting as a level to come down to, which is right around that $70 region, $65 to $70 region, which is just above this box. Okay. Yeah, you can see that this box right here is a pretty big region where it was a big support resistance flip area, and we broke out of it, back tested the top of this range, and went on a moon mission to the 786 flip extension. So that's Solana. Definitely one of the stronger assets in this market for sure. Anything else you guys want to take a look at aside from the majors here? Sand, mint layer, and sand. All right, we'll take a look at both of those. Total 2 we'll take a look at. Of course, solar beam. Absolutely. All right. I was also going to look at the S&P 500 here. You know, the 4-hour. This is a 4-hour chart of the futures market. But yeah, if we lose this trend line, we're going to come straight back down to, you know, 48, 45, no doubt. And this is pointing down, and the MACD is indicating and implicating that this could come down on the S&P on the 4-hour. The daily time frame, you know, putting in some definitely some bearish divergence here. You can clearly see it on the MACD oscillator. You know, lower highs on positive momentum with higher highs on price. So the buyers are exhausted up here. We are at all-time highs. A back test of the breakout is definitely something we could definitely see on the S&P. All right, cool. So stock market probably pulls back, or the S&P 500 probably pulls back at some point here. The weekly time frame. The weekly time frame still looks okay. It's definitely extended here on the RSI. We did get an RSI break. Again, though, we do have some bearish divergence forming, right? This is an all-time high on price versus this high, which was this high. So, lower levels of relative strength, bearish divergence in an uptrend. Bearish divergence in uptrends usually underperform. But I mean, we could see this drawdown. We could see this pullback before going higher, as our monthly chart is just creating higher levels of positive momentum on the monthly with the MACD monthly cross up. The monthly cross up here looking very strong for the S&P 500, and lots of room to run. We're not even overbought on the monthly time frame, and look how often the RSI stays overbought in these uptrends. Okay, and this is at S&P at all-time highs. Okay, so longer term chart looks great. Shorter term chart, we got some divergence. We could see pullback. I'm long-term bullish the S&P here. Kind of have to be, right? Okay, cool. Let's take a look at sand, total 2, mint layer, ARB, and solar. All right, so sand. Like I said before, really just depends on how Tether is going to move around the market here. It is holding this range. It bounced off this support. Our ADX on the 4-hour is like in between a cross and not a cross. So yeah, it's a pretty close situation. Yeah, I mean the bears are still in control of Tether on the 4-hour, but you are impending a 4-hour cross on the MACD. Again, that could be negated if we get a rejection candle like pretty soon here. If this starts to really reject here, we could see this break further down. We are at an hourly supply zone here with the asset. Putting in I would say a long wick weekly candle, not a doji, but a long wick weekly rejection candle. Okay, so we'll see if this ends up pushing to the downside. All right, we are outside the major structure here. I would say that this was a back test and a rejection, right? It didn't completely get back above this level. If it did, that would be super bearish if we saw something like that. Like if Tether closed back into the structure here at like 6.67%, man, I'd be like really scared, and not really scared, but I'd be really bearish on the market. Right now, we're kind of like teetering. We're like in between a zone, and we didn't close back into this structure. So I would say we're okay for now until we start seeing something else brew on this chart. On the monthly time frame, we're still, this bearish engulfing candle is still active, meaning if we close the month below this monthly candle, we could still see this continue to break down, which is what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to see Tether do something like that. And the reason why I think that is because if you zoom out to the monthly, I mean, yes, we did bounce off this neutral area here, but if you look carefully on the chart, we actually got an RSI break, okay? We are technically below these tops that we made on Bitcoin back in 2021. The monthly RSI is technically in an RSI breakdown with lots of room to the downside, all right? This thing is not oversold on the monthly chart. And you can see that it's just been trending to the downside. Lower highs on the RSI, right? And now we just made our first lower low on the monthly. Okay, so I am definitely not a bull on Tether dominance here on the longer term chart. All right, and clearly on the monthly, you can see we got a break. And now we're just back testing. Okay, so what we're looking to see is some continuation to the downside here for the markets to proceed higher. Could take some time, could take some weeks. All right, we have the halving coming up here in April. I think we get one last push up. That's what I'm thinking. We get one last push up maybe into March or end of February. February is typically a bullish month for Bitcoin. So we could see one more push up to retest that top region, and then we could get the major drawdown before the halving. All right, and that is what I'm looking at right now. Okay, enough of this. Let's look at sand. Although I think that's really important to understand that something like that could happen. Okay, guys, and to be ready for something like that. Sand, I don't really have that much data, but based on the data that we do have, we can clearly see that sand did break its downtrend here, right? We broke the downtrend. It looks like a massive wedge pattern on the monthly chart. The weekly, we probably hit a fib extension here. Let's just fib it from our swing low to our swing high. We are using wicks, so we're going to continue using the wicks. We nailed that 50% retracement level from the swing low to the swing high. We could be looking at a move down to the trend line, okay, which is typical. After you get a breakout, you usually get a back test. And this back test could be something also that we see pretty common after we get wedge breaks. We usually get these inverse head and shoulders pattern type of structures, right? This might have just been an attempt at a break of the range, market getting really frothy, really bullish up to these levels here. And we could see, sand come down to like 38 cents or something if this range here doesn't hold. Which right now on the weekly time scale, I would say we did get a breakdown, but not a lot of follow through on the movement down. Like I said, it could just be, maybe consolidating here, or it could go sideways. It could make an attempted rally back up to 53 cents and then come back to the downside. All depending on what Tether ends up doing definitively. Right now it's teetering. It's in a teetering spot where it's really tough to call what this market's going to do. I hope that answers your question, man. But I do have a bag of sand that I bought around 50 cents. I do intend on holding it long term here. The monthly chart still looks okay. Not quite engulfing last month's candle, so that bullish engulfing candle is still active. I would like to see bids come in here to push this up a little bit, just to confirm that this is the low for the month. And then maybe we could see, a push out of here. That would be great to see in the next month or two. All right, so look at mint layer. That's on MEXC or something. Okay. Don't really have a lot of data on this one, integrity. But you clearly are in price discovery, or were in price discovery, and maybe seeing a little bit of a drawdown here. Probably very overbought on the weekly time frame. I wouldn't be looking to buy something like this up here. It probably does come back down a bit. I'm not saying it's going to come all the way back down to 12 cents, but man, it can. I don't know what this asset does. I would say, you have a wick. You have this wick high from right here. You're probably going to go and test that, which happens to be this level right here where you did back test before going higher. So, if you don't round out a bottom here at these levels, I would say to expect some price action to the downside, right? That weekly chart's pretty extended. And, that 2-day candle putting in looks like a pretty nasty rejection there, not a long wick up here like that means a lot of selling pressure came in right there. Right now you're still above a level, sure. You're still holding that. Again, this looks like a pretty nasty candle on the daily. The 4-hour holding the range low for now. Maybe a break and a back test. Maybe look for some more consolidation. But like I said, that weekly is pretty extended. But these candles here don't look terrible. You got some long wicks here. Obviously, there's some buyers pushing this price up here. If you go sideways and maybe cup out or something, that would be good to see. But I personally wouldn't be looking to buy this asset up here. Right. Looks Looks like Solana's going green on the day. That's good to see. Let's see. Bitcoin holding above right around 42 right now. Solar total 2. Let's look at total 2 real quick. Ping-ponging between these ranges, man. Like, that's what we're doing right now on total 2. This was a breakout. You know, if this really does hold, that's excellent to see. You know, like I said, ping-ponging in the range. We could go back up. We most likely will go back up. I've been saying that. We could go see Bitcoin. Bitcoin could go retest that 45K region, maybe even up to 49K, depending on what it does there. We get a candle close above that level. Total 2 kind of doing the same types of things, just ping-ponging between fib extensions here. And we could be setting up for some consolidation for the next leg up on total 2. I will say that the altcoins got some nice pullbacks already, right? Some of them draw down like 40, 50%, like Avalanche pulled back from $50-something to $27. I'm going to look at it and show you guys because I do think Avalanche is one of the stronger assets in this market. Aside from Solana, I think it's one of the stronger layer ones you could own. You know, this looks like a confirmed wedge break on the daily time frame. We broke this wedge and looks like we're back testing this fib extension. And, you know, top of the wedge is around $48. And this was a major wedge break and a major breakout. You know, if we were to go in line or in parity with what Solana did, Solana went to its 786 fib extension, which is around roughly $70 for Avalanche. So some catching up to do for this blockchain, right? And, you know, the daily crossing up here with the bullish divergence on the MACD oscillator. Some of these alts look pretty good. I got to say, some of them still look pretty good. The 2-day getting that nice reset on the stochastic RSI. Again, with the 2-day MACD looking to try to, you know, curl back up here. We got some 2-day hidden bullish divergence. You know, this low here is probably a higher low on price than this low here, which clearly it is. From August 25th, this low on price was $10. So yeah, some clear hidden bullish divergence here on Avalanche, you know, implying a price action reversal on this asset. So we looked at SAM, looked at total 2, look at SolarBeam. SolarBeam is one of those low cap coins that we are actively in. I am going to pull that chart up. It is on Deck Screener. If you guys aren't aware, SolarBeam is the #1 DEX on the Moon River blockchain. I am the holder of this coin. I have an entry of around 2.7 cents. I'm not really liking the weekly candle right now, but you know, you can see it's just ping-ponging in this range here. It did hold above this 5.4 cent region, which happens to be a level on the weekly. Isn't a major bull flag though. You can clearly see this flagpole here is active. You know, your bottom of the range is around 3.8 cents. If you go and test it again, that wouldn't shock me. You know, volume is receding here. We could be setting up for a move. Daily time frame kind of sitting sideways. You know, we test the top of the range, we rejected it, but we're making a higher low. We made a higher low here, and we are going sideways. You know, we did paint a bearish engulf. We got two kind of nothing burger candles here on the daily chart. We'll look at FTM as well. But if we zoom out to the monthly chart, so far so good. We're holding above the major 236 fib extension, confirming that this was the bottom for this asset. And, you know, looking at this chart, you guys can see, all right, if you guys have been following for a long time, you guys know when an asset goes straight down and we do get some bullish price action or some buying pressure into an asset, you know, after it does something like that, it could very well just end up going straight back up. All right. And that's going to be kind of contingent upon what Moon River does and the KSM blockchain does. And really what this whole market ends up doing. This is a $1 million market cap, guys. So lots of room for growth for this thing. That's why I did take a position after I saw this monthly candle, double bottom on the monthly, breakout of a major channel structure here. I am looking at a potential swing target right now of about 16 cents. If it can get above 16 cents, there's really not much here. Then we're looking around that 40 cent region. and maybe up to that $1 region. And you can see from the monthly, it's just straight down after it gets above that 55-cent level. There's not really much there in terms of price action, and it could really make a major run this cycle. If we go to like a regular time scale, you guys are going to see, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that after you make a bottom, okay, after you make some sort of buy. I know this looks really weird because I charted this in log scale because it's such a wrecked asset, but I mean, you guys can see, the U shape that's coming in here, right? It's going to make a big cup pattern longer term. And your longer term RSI is really wrecked. It's sitting at like a 1 on the monthly. It's like, I would say it's up only because it probably is going to end up being an up only type of movement here longer term. Short term, we could be ping ponging between ranges and going sideways and getting pullbacks and, all the likes that happen on the daily or 2-day time frames. But I think long term, solar beam is going to make lots of people lots of money in this bull run. All right. All right, let's look at FTM and Arbitrum. All right, so FTM. FTM kind of ranging, right? Top of the range here, 54 cents, bottom of the range, 17, kind of in the middle of a range. Technically, right this very moment, we did not close above this wick high on the 2-day chart. I would like to see us close above that. Otherwise, we're looking at a potential head and shoulders type of pattern here, right? You guys see it? I mean, technically, the right shoulder is... I guess it's not because the right shoulder is higher than the left here. So, all right. So head and shoulders pattern is not viable for this. What's going on, Bobby? The daily right now is looking a bit interesting. It did break this trend line here. This does look like maybe some sort of descending broadening formation on the daily time frame. We got a break. We could see some consolidation or even a back test, which is looking like what it's doing right now. We got this break and, back testing and holding this support for right now, as long as, Tether kind of cooperates and goes further down and not up here. I would say that Tether is going to come down and not go up. I think we eventually see Tether do something like this. We broke this major trend line of support here, or this major trend line that it was respecting to get this movement up. And, we broke this channel. So, you sell the channel, right? You don't buy the channel unless you hold the bottom of the channel. So, and then you got this range here that Tether is been kind of trading in since it broke down. And, this would be, I would say, it's a bear flag because this back test here was a clear rejection of the massive rising wedge structure we talked about before. And the 2-day and the daily chart are oscillating back to the downside, right? The 2-day, cross down here. We didn't get a confirmed sell. We want to see the 2-day cross below the 80 line here the next couple of days. The daily confirmed a sell signal. Okay, so the daily is confirming the sell signal. We could see some chop because the 4-hour bouncing off of support. We could go sideways a bit. We could even go back up a bit. To retest these levels of breakdown. We could see Tether maybe come back up to this 6.24% region if it does push back up, right? And that's kind of confluent with this level right here. So Tether could do something like this, where it comes back up and tests this level and then rejects it and then makes a lower low. That's kind of what we want to see, all right? Cool. So yeah, FTM kind of just holding a support here, broke this channel. Looks good, I would say, from a technical point of view. I hear some big things happening with their new tech that they're coming out with. I think it's over the summertime that you're going to have like sonic transactions or something. I do have a leverage play that I'm in on the Phantom blockchain. It's called the Yoshi exchange. It's one of the dexes on Phantom. Hasn't been performing well right now at all. I think I'm down like 30-40% on it. Full transparency on that, I bought it around 4.5 cents, as I did think that Phantom was going to break out of here, and it didn't. So I ended up buying a top of a range, and we did see a nice drawdown on it. All right, BNB, let's take a look at it. So BNB is, man, this one's been, yeah. So I have something plotted on it. I don't know that that's going to play out, but we'll see. Yeah, that channel looks interesting that it's holding like that. Monthly looks good on it, man. You got some massive amount of momentum coming in on the monthly chart here, right? You have your low and your higher low on the monthly oscillator here. You got the squeeze that you just broke out of, man. So I would say BNB looks pretty good. Once you do break this squeeze, you're going to see BNB make some movements. All right, and looks like you did break this downtrend here. I would say this does look like, some sort of falling wedge type of setup here. All right, and yeah, maybe your swing target is the top of the range eventually, $631. This could take some time to play out. Maybe some consolidations up here. Yeah, you can see that you're just ranging up here, right? Nothing really to be too concerned about after that break, that major break. And, maybe, chop around for a bit, consolidate for a bit. Looks like just a flag, man. But you could do something like this where you just chop here for a while, man, and then eventually you eventually break out of it once you've maybe come back down to the major trend line here to use that as support to catalyze your next move. So yeah, that could take some time. This is, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But that monthly chart looks great. That monthly chart looks great. Okay. KDA. Dina. Interesting that it's holding this major trend line of support here. You did break this downtrend, clear break, right, with the breakout up to the major resistance level there on KDA. And your monthly time frame here is, I would still say, looking pretty good, right? This was a major wedge break here for KDA, big bullish engulfing candle. Nothing to be concerned about here with this candle. It's just looking like a back test type of candle on KDA. The weekly time frame is teetering right on that demand line. The 2 day is telling you, hey man, there looks like to be some buyers supporting that right now. If you do end up losing this level here, you could come back down to about 82 cents. But for now, that looks pretty good, man. That looks pretty good. You got a 2 day oscillator reset. No confirmed buy signal on the 2 day. The daily also trending back up. No confirmed buy signal on the daily yet, but looks like it's trying to tick back up. You have some daily MACD bullish divergence here, kind of forming, holding neutral on the RSI. Could go sideways for a bit. That's what this chart's telling me. And yeah, it's possible you end up losing this level too. So we'll see how that goes. And, but yeah, I would say, 78 to 80 cent region might be the target if you do lose that level. You have a range here that you're looking at, right? This range right here. But you are in a daily demand zone or right above it. All right, we'll take a look at Link. Some assets look a lot better than others, man. It's just how this goes right now. Link looks like it's in a consolidation range up here, right? It's just consolidating up here. We could be, doing some of this stuff for a while and then eventually break it. Link looks pretty strong. Okay. right? And you're clearly showing some daily bullish divergence on link here, right? With this low and this higher low on the MACD. And yeah, you could trade back up to the top of the trading range, $16. See what ends up happening there. But this to me looks like a rectangle type of consolidation. And I think the long-term chart looks probably really good on link. Yeah, I mean, the monthly crossed up. Momentum still looks pretty good. You're still making higher levels of positive momentum here. Yeah, I mean, you're sitting bullish on the monthly time frame. You know, you got a bit of a pullback, whatever. Nothing to be too concerned about. You could see some sideways action. That's what I was saying before. You're kind of in a range. If you do end up losing this level or this range, it is possible something like this occurs where, you know, if this is rounding a top up here, you could maybe get a pullback to that $10 region to back test this breakout before going much higher. So understand that. If this thing is topped out up here and lost its momentum on the weekly time frame, which looks like you know, your MACD is making this cross down right here. Sure, we'll take a look at Tesla. Oh yeah, so your weekly, no squeeze or anything, just sideways action. You could maybe test up again to the top of the range. But I would say overall, just looks like some sideways stuff. If, you know, the MACD on the weekly, you know, you could end up making a lower high or something and then come down and retest 12 bucks. That's the real range low here on the daily. And eventually, if we really do get a major pullback in this market, we could see as low as 10 bucks, which is about a 40% drawdown here for Link. All right. Tesla. Wowzers. It never actually really broke out of this structure that it's been in. I mean, you're at a level here that you could see maybe a potential bounce or, you know, a short-term reversal at. Your daily's probably oversold. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can probably expect some sort of bounce here for Tesla tomorrow or these next couple days after that big drawdown there. Very oversold in the daily and the 2-day charts, and looks like it's trying to base out here for now. And you know, you could go back up and retest the breakdown at 200. Make a lower high and then make another leg down. That can totally happen. That is something, especially if the S&P is going to pull back, man. And even the NASDAQ pulling back could happen, right? So, you know, you could get a big pump up to retest the breakdown. Probably a gap there. I would assume a gap down. Go to the daily chart. Yeah, big gap to fill. So I would say probably a gap fill trade there. You know, maybe up to about 205 or something. That looks about right. Theta, 2025 Theta price target. All right, so Theta with the breakout and literally touched the 38.2% retracement level to the T. I don't see why, if we are going to get a pullback, that this thing won't come back down to 80 cents, because that is totally a possibility, especially with you losing weekly momentum here. You can clearly see that there's a lot of bearish divergence happening on this chart. You know, the bullish divergence played out. You got that massive pump, and now you're working on some lower levels of positive momentum here. to see maybe some more price action to the downside. Our weekly RSI is pointing down here. It's still sitting bullish, but yes, it is pointing down. Yeah, you got this level here on 80 cents. This looks like a level that will probably be respected. That looks like an area. We'll look at OP also, sure. We'll look at DOT and OP for sure. But if all plays out well here with this wedge pattern, man, we could see it trade back up to 12 bucks. And if it ends up breaking that massive wedge pattern to the upside, who knows where this thing could go, man? I don't know. Like, we got a long-term, pretty close to a long-term trend line right here that maybe is being respected. You know, maybe, like I said, we could get one like wick down here and then rip type of thing. Could I don't think it's going to go up that high, but man, if it does, that'd be crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to give an unrealistic target for you here, but if we do end up breaking the all-time high, yeah, I mean, maybe up to the top of the trend line or the top of the structure here around that $50 region, potentially. Could be a big trade, man. Could be a very big trade. All right, cool. OP and DOT. So OP on the monthly looking pretty strong. Back testing the median trend line here. Nothing really bad to say about what this asset's doing. I don't know if that channel is really something I should be using, but I kind of liked just the ranges here on this thing. Pulse chain, yeah, we can take a look at pulse chain, man, sure. All right, so I would say these are your ranges here on OP. You know, and your swing low to your swing high so far. You know, you went into price discovery. You know, I would say your next swing target is probably $6. If you measure from the bottom of this range, the top of this range is about 118%. So from the bottom of that range, yeah, this is pretty much where you're going, about $6. Yeah, when flow. I don't know, bro. When NFTs, when ETH. All right, so we'll take a look at looks like some meme coins, man. I don't fucking know. Where are the tips for the meme coins, dude? Anyways, all right. New chart pulse chain or bear on PLS. Yeah, bear. Teddy bear is a meme coin on pulse chain. Wow. Pretty bullish close there. You know, closing a weekly bullish engulfing candle. Looks pretty good, man. The question is do you have the strength to continue? And it looks like you do. The weekly time frame is sitting at 68. So there's that. This thing, well, actually on HA candles sitting at 76, but yeah, I'd be careful up here, dude. I mean, yes, you're looking at a range break potentially, but you know, this thing could just you know, do some stupid shit. People just sell up here because it's the range high. Just be careful if you got a bag of this thing. But yeah, I would say it looks pretty strong. Weekly bullish engulfing, you know, closing a candle above or right at the weekly candle bodies from its previous pump. And yeah, if this follows suit to the previous moves, you know, you could be looking at something like that longer term, potentially. Ponky, oh geez. Monkey's down 25%. And that is a nasty, nasty, nasty candle, my friend. Ugh. That is a massive doji rejection candle. That even kind of looks like a gravestone candle. I would probably venture to stay out of this one. I mean, yeah, the monthly looks okay. I don't know. That looks pretty gross, dude. I'd be careful in something like this. Looking like that anyway. That looked pretty gnarly to me. But yeah, I mean, you're holding this range low here, man. I don't know. Made new all-time highs, pulled right back. This was like a what? A 60% drawdown, man? Holy shit. Careful on some of these types of coins, man. And you can see the volume kind of receded here. I mean, yeah, maybe some volume comes in here at these range lows. I would just watch out, man. If you break that 3.5 cent region, dude, you're gonna go way down, dude. All right, Filecoin and Manta. Manta actually looked pretty good. It's a new coin. It's a layer 2, I believe. It just launched. I think I was talking about it at like that $1.60 range. Weekly engulfing candle. Didn't print a higher high though. Not a lot of data on this coin. That 2-day doesn't look very good. That looks like a reversal candle up there. Yeah, so maybe you get a bit of a drawdown on this thing. You know, all just launched type of thing. So man, who knows what this thing is going to do. I personally would probably wait for it to draw down a bit before buying it. That's just me personally. Yeah, just watch this trend line, man. But your RSI is still sitting bullish on the 4-hour time scale. But you had a clear bearish divergence here on the 4-hour time scale, causing that move down. Looks like she's going to come down more, man. Truthfully, that's just what I'm seeing on this chart. Watch out on this one. Could dump real hard, real fast too. All right, Filecoin. I haven't looked at Filecoin in quite a bit time here, so let's take a look at what Filecoin's doing. Oof, yeah. This is definitely not all the data. Let's see if we can find the data on this thing, Filecoin. All right, so yeah, you broke the wedge. You're coming back down into the demand zone here. This looks like a level. Looks like I had that plotted. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. We got this wick right into this zone and got bought up here, but not enough to reverse its price action there on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, see if you can hold this level, man. This looks like a pretty big level. You clearly see that this level here was rejected, then broke it, back tested it, made a lower high, broke it, and came back above it. So you came back above it. You reclaimed that area, man. That's good. That's good. Reclaiming that level is important. Okay, and yes, you did break this downsloping trend line here, and you could consolidate for a bit. I would say that Filecoin here looks okay, as long as you end up staying above this $5 region. Because if you don't, then you could be looking at you know, like a 420 type of thing happening. All right, got that level there. This range right here. So P-die, yeah, let's take a look at it. P-die. P-die looking pretty good, man. You know, respecting the long-term channel up here. You know, if you end up breaking this all-time high, man, you could be looking at, you know, 2 cents. There's nothing really up here, dude. You go into price discovery, and you can clearly see lots of accumulation here. Just pay attention to your volume here. Okay, if the volume starts dropping off towards that top, just be careful. Could be looking at a double top if something like that happens. But I'm sure that this is going to follow whatever Pulse Chain's doing, right? So if Pulse Chain is breaking out, then P-die probably going to continue its break. I'm going to look at a MACD here, kind of gauge that. Yeah, nice movement up here. Went bullish here on the MACD. You had this nice divergence down here that is playing out on the 3-day time scale. The weekly looks good. Nice weekly engulfing candle last week here, beautiful. Coming up to the range highs. All right. Monthly candle is looking pretty strong here. Yes, that is looking very strong on the monthly. Pretty close to those wick highs. So that this candle right here is looking very good on the monthly chart. Very, very good. Right. How is everyone feeling? We're kind of teetering right now, man. We're like in a range, and we gotta really see Bitcoin start to perform. That's kind of what's got to go on here for this market to continue. Flow. Let's take a look at flow. Why not? Came back down to the range low here. Just kind of sitting, man. This thing is not a good performer so far in this cycle. Hasn't really done too much. Got a clear, resistance line here. Holding this support for now, but man, this thing got to do something here. It's maybe consolidating on the daily, the 4-hour. Looks like maybe some sort of squeeze formed here on the 4-hour. So maybe, just maybe, if Tether does break down, we could see flow, trade back up to the top of its range. We'll see. Waves, we could take a look at that. Total 3, we could take a look at that. Total 3, man. Total 3, yeah. Let's see. Ping pong in between the fibs, clear as day. Kind of a resting bar candle on the monthly chart. Market's taking a break. I think your next. It would be kind of crazy to see it trade to the top of the channel somewhere, man. $3.4 trillion would be crazy, but it's possible. It's been respecting this channel all these cycles so far, man. So I don't know what's different about this one. We could end up getting a big drawdown first and then just going after that drawdown. So we'll see. It all just depends on what Tether ends up doing. If this really is the major rejection here for Tether, and this thing just starts plummeting, you guys know what's going to happen next month. We're just going to see some bullish price action, and all these patterns are going to play out beautifully, and everything's going to be just fine. But if we don't, and Tether makes some sort of reversal here or claws back into that structure, could spell some trouble. All right, but right now I think we're okay. We're just back testing this level here, and I think eventually what's going to happen is the sellers of Tether are going to win, not the buyers of Tether. Although some could argue that there is weekly bullish divergence here, but it actually isn't. This is a lower low on price, so there is not. This is not a weekly divergence, actually. I stand corrected. If this low on momentum was a higher low on price than this area right here, then we'd have that divergence. But we do not. It is not weekly divergence. It is not. So that's good. And like I said before, this is a long wicked candle, man. Long wicked candle. And right now we're actually coming back down into this range, man. So let's see how she goes. Looking pretty promising right now, just now in the last hour here. So if Bitcoin does go up, I have kind of a leveraged play that I'm trading here in the stock market. It's called Canaan Inc. This asset actually sells Bitcoin mining equipment, and it will run with the miners in the stock market, like the Maras and the Riots and all those assets. I don't really know. A good place to draw this would probably be like around here, because this looks like an area where it attempted to break out and failed. Well, I wouldn't say it failed. Bitcoin just started pulling back, so. But yeah, back to the weekly range low, man. I added to my position here personally. I get it, man. The weekly momentum here doesn't look too hot, but the monthly just crossed up, man. Just crossed up on the monthly, just starting to create that positive momentum. I like to look at longer term timescales, guys, because you could get fake outs on these smaller timescales, and if you really zoom out on this chart, man, this thing is, you tell me. This looks like a rounding bottom type of thing happening here. So yeah, I mean around $2 on this asset. I do think longer term this is going to be a good trade. Right now I'm down on this trade, but you can clearly see you have a major demand line that you're at. So yeah, let's hope this plays out, man. This looks pretty good. Could see some ranging for a bit and maybe some sideways action for a bit. But the daily got a full reset here, making a higher low on the RSI, getting that daily stochastic reset here. I think that in the coming days that we're going to see some upside here. As long as this thing can break back above that $2 level, I think lots of upside to be had for this asset. Just ping-ponging off this low, just big spring right there, right? A spring and a back test is what we're looking at here. And after you get this spring like that, and you will get the continuation, I believe. Let's see how this goes, man. If the TA is respected, we should see something like that. All right. Mara, yeah, let's take a look at Mara. Mara made a nice run and pulled back with Bitcoin. Mara, making a higher low here, ping-ponging right off that Fibonacci level. I think Mara looks great longer term here. Descending broadening formation, got up almost close to that trend line and just started pulling back here. But if you really look at the grand scheme of it, yeah, the weekly looks like it's just, chilling here right now. But if we go to like the 3-day and the 2-day chart, you can see maybe a potential reversal like right here, right? And you're about to come out of this negative momentum. You can see your ADX is about to cross back up on the daily chart. Again, with the stochastics RSI, ticking back up here on the daily, the 2-day, pretty wrecked and crossing back up. This is probably a local bottom for this asset, most likely. So yeah, Mara looking pretty good. We'll see if we get a continuation back up. I am plotting something like this, a break and a back test eventually. And then, new all-time highs probably with Bitcoin going to new all-time highs. Going into 2025 probably. All right. That's your Mara. How is everybody liking the stream tonight? Do you guys like the content? Make sure you guys smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. And I'm really trying to grow this out if I can this year, guys. This is my year to do it. So appreciate all you guys' support along the way here, man. Really do appreciate it. We'll take a look at waves. We can look at that. Let's take a look at it. I actually rolled my waves position into another asset, by the way. Yeah, waves. Trying to catch some bids here. Off the range low on the monthly, the weekly, back to the middle of the range. Rejected the top of the range there with the rest of the market. But that looks like a level, man. That does look like a level. And you could get some bids to come in at. Right? Just holding it. Just holding it nicely. Good. Looks good. Looks okay, I would say. I wouldn't say it looks the best, but it looks okay. I mean, definitely could dollar cost average a position if you bought it higher up on the range. And if you end up breaking lower, you can just dollar cost average on probably down to this 160 to 170 range, maybe even to the 185 level, right? If this ends up being some sort of distribution up here, right? Because it looks like you've made a lower high right here for now. But yeah, man, like it just all comes down to what Tether ends up doing. If Tether comes down, then all these assets are gonna go up. So. All right, that's about it, man. We've been live for 90 minutes. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Hopefully it was helpful. And sounds good. Sounds good. See how this plays out. Hopefully Bitcoin makes a movement up to that 45K region and closes above there, and then we can continue the run, guys. We'll see. Absolutely, guys. You all have a wonderful evening. And we'll catch you guys in the Discord. Make sure you guys are part of that. I think lots of you guys are in the Discord, but try to be more active there and spread the word about what I'm doing here, man. I'm really just trying to teach you guys. This is a lifelong skill that everyone can learn. And you guys have seen some of the games and some of the trades that we've been taking over the last year or two here, right? So this is real. This is definitely how this goes, man. And it does require a lot of patience if you're trading long-term timescales, all right? And yeah, you're going to see drawdowns and you're going to see pullbacks and sideways action. The markets can be boring at times. But that's just how it goes, man. I mean, nothing happens quickly, unfortunately. That's just how it goes. So if you can remain patient and trade longer-term timescales, then you're in the right place. If you're one of those guys that thinks you can get rich tomorrow, rich quick, it ain't going to happen, man. You're going to get wrecked trying to do it, and you're not going to be happy with the end result, especially if you're not educated on technical analysis. All right? That's all I got. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next week. And I'm going to try to be posting some more content about how to trade these types of markets. The technicals, what I look for, why I look for that stuff. And hopefully it will be informative and you guys will like the content, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. All right? Stay tuned. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful week.